What's up is down, what's left is right. Chasing stars, holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through. Dangerous times, don't fly too high. Be sure to keep the ground in sight. Fly forever if you keep it tight. Love the world that keeps the sky on your mind. Get on board. We're soaring on top of
sometimes like all you want to do is run. Hear me out, hear me out. It's all the things you never show. There are the things I want to know. Secrets start in your heart so slow. But if you don't want to tell me now, I guess I'll never know. Losing almost all my energy. It's getting hard to talk to you, and I'm the only one who speaks. It's all the things you never show. There are the things I want to know. Secrets start in your heart so slow. But if you don't want to tell me now, I guess I'll never know. Here we go, turning all the wrongs into rights. Here we go, you can take me there to the heights. Whoa, this life is all we know. Whoa, I can't say if you can't let it go. I never really know what's going on. And even when you're next to me, I feel like you were gone. It's all the things you never show. There are the things I want you to know. Secret this start in your heart so slow. But if you don't want to tell me how, I guess I'll never know. But if you don't want to tell me how, I guess I'll never know.
At 29 and I find myself wondering, what did happen to the last 10? I ran away with my life, fast forward, never turn back again. It's kind of funny that the more we pass time, the more we need to set them rewind. And 19 was the year I had to leave you, but now I'm seeing all the signs. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. Is this really happening? I can't be too sure, but one day I'll be yours again. Life lessons come one in a dozen. The other 11 get something from nothing. I sit here looking for an answer. Maybe the biggest question was in the last chapter. You gave me the soul I have today. Without you I never could have moved away. But now I see what you teach. I do believe I always should have stayed. Yeah. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. Is this really happening? I can't be too sure, but one day I'll be yours again. One day I'll be Life lessons come one in a dozen. The other 11 get something from nothing. Life lessons come one in a dozen. The other 11 get something from nothing. Life lessons come one in a dozen. The other 11 get something from nothing. Life changes just open the door. One thing's certain, I'll always be yours. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. Is this really happening? I can't be too sure, but one day I'll be yours. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. Is this really happening? I can't be too sure, but one day I'll be yours.
Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. But anyway, we're here. We're here. Oh, wow. The whole week. I don't know. So anyway, let's get rid of this. No, there we go. You gotta go bye-bye. And then I think we're good. The lighting, I know it's kind of funky. All the lights in here are blown out, so I'm just using the
I've given my seat to my dogs. I'm sorry.
and I can't even change it either. Let's see.
In a way that
Can't change the mood lighting, like the colors or anything. Anyway, we are here. I hope the air conditioner isn't too
I
loud.
don't hear you.
It's good. That means the noise cancellation, background cancellation is good. And you know, my eyes are a little messed up from looking at the screen all night, but
And I'm still
I tried to put my sunglasses on, but that's not even working because they're too dark. What's up, Alexander? Okay, so tonight, it is evening. It is 7:48 p.m. Pacific Standard Time here on the West Coast down in Southern California. And glad you're all here. Please share this out. Let's share it, share it, share it. Don't be afraid to share it out because we're talking real shit here. At least from our opinion, our perspective, what we've learned, and we'll maybe turn you on to a couple other things, or a couple of other channels that may help even a little bit more. But yeah, we're here to break spells. We're here to, and that was, I don't know if you've ever heard of Owen Benjamin, but that's what he calls everything breaking spells. And I thought that was a catchy thing. So it inspired me. So yeah, I did cop his lick. But no, breaking the spell. He was just kept saying it. And I was like, you know what? And I think it's going to be break the spell. I guess we're going to be, because that's what we all did. What we did, you know, we're going to let this meld into whatever, you know, and turn into and
It's going to be
into what it is.
whatever.
Yeah. But with your help, with those listening, there are the silent producers, hopefully the, you know, more extroverted producers that do speak up and we talk and say, hey, you can do this and it'd be cool too.
Right?
And we're willing to take that in and
That's
try
right.
it out.
We're most definitely open to critique, ideas, like topics, guests, right? Like we're open to all of that. So, and I apologize for my slight
Coughing dog.
weird talking and coughing dog, but I'm realizing I have an issue with certain letters.
So yeah, share this out, share this out, share this out. We will we'll give away something eventually here on the channel once we can figure out how to run this
Yes,
this channel.
we will grow. We're getting there. We're figuring things out. We're exploring, trying to figure out how to make it,
And a lot of adventure to come.
beneficial to everybody. Like, help us to continue to maintain doing what we do, whilst also like understanding and knowing like that there are levels and
Oops, that's weird life. Anyway, go ahead.
degrees of expectation that come with certain things, right? Like, so yeah, I kind of hate marketing, but that's basically what we're all
You know,
doing in this
what
world.
gets us
We're all
reach.
trying to
When you
sell
guys share, that
ourselves. We're all
gives us
trying
more
to-
reach.
Right.
More reach means more people see it. More people see it, hopefully like it, and can learn from it, can take something from it.
That's right.
The camera's right there. See where that green light is? It's right
Was I looking
there.
way off?
No, but I'm basically saying it out loud because I do it all the time, and I'll look over here to the left. It looks like I have a lazy eye because I'm rushing back there, trying to focus on both sides.
I
and
do it. Yeah. I will write down on the wrong list sometimes. So I have to go back and go on to that. And then sometimes I'll like, the corrections have to make.
I think I need to turn this back on. I turned it off for a minute. It's hot. It was hot today,
You don't
y'all.
really care about it. It's fine.
It was hot today. See how long the water is going to last. It's not cool.
You want to hear the sound for yourself. So you
No, I'm good. Actually, yeah. let me listen. Sound check. Sorry. We're doing it live, y'all. Oh, yeah, yeah. It's all right. Other than the 3-second delay,
yeah.
trying to read the comments. By this time, after looking at screens all day, it's hard for me to read them.
Don't worry.
All right, so who's all in here? Sound off. I see Alexander. I see Marlene. That's all I see. Silent watchers. Oh, and Norma, she's in here. She's right here, and she's in here.
I mean, but I'm not like trying. I'm trying not to watch my phone and get lost in the sounds. I'm trying to pay attention to the sound, make sure we're cool, but stay with him in like the moment we're in, right? So understand that sometimes works for me, but it's
So tonight we're talking about nonconformity. I talk about going with the flow a lot, and that's the natural flow. I can go deeper than that, but at a simple perspective, or as most simple perspective I can give it, or definition, it's like there's an unnatural perspective, which is like pushing us every day,
It's a
pushing
narrative.
us, pushing us, pushing
Right.
us, pushing us.
It's a narrative,
It's a
Trying to
narrative that makes
drag
us,
you.
yeah.
kicking and
We're
screaming.
doing good, Aaron. So anyway, let me finish this and I'll say hi. Thank you for being here. But yeah, and then there's a natural flow of like instinct, of
It's just what's happening.
destiny, of divinity, like a divine direction. So when I say go with the flow, I don't mean go with the flow like I mean go with the natural flow, not with the flow that's trying to take over the natural flow, and it's completely opposite. So as I see it, you need to go against the grain and be more non-conformist, which is, you don't need to, you can do whatever you want to, but I feel like
It's all your heart.
if something is off and it sounds off, I mean, it probably is. We've lived too long worshiping heroes, and that's always been the game of the mind game, is the hero, right? Let's create a hero, and then everybody can follow them, and then we can do whatever the fuck we want to them. Sorry, this is an 18 and over show, so if you're here and you're under 18, you better not be sneaking on here. But nonconformity is what we need. Nonconformity from the norms, from what media is showing you that you should conform to. It's just like keeping up with the Joneses. It's like, oh, that person has this, and then you compare your life to theirs, and then you kill yourself trying to be like them, which is what we should never do. We should never try to strive to be like somebody else. We are who we are, right? Like I spent a lot of time, the most time I ever practiced music was learning how to sound like Stevie Ray Vaughan. If anybody's ever known who Stevie, if anybody knows who that name is. I mean, he was an amazing guitar player and singer and song. Well, we didn't write the song, but he played them in a way that
Beautiful.
blew everything else away. So anyway, I learned how to play like him, like his style, and he picked up a lot of styles from a lot of other people. But then I eventually learned, you know what? I'm kind of losing myself trying to sound like him so much. I'm trying to be like, keep up with the Joneses. But I'm losing myself in that. I'm in their life. I'm playing in their game now, not in my own. And being nonconformist means saying no to fucking masks, saying no to fucking jabs, saying no to fucking anything that sounds off, especially if it's coming from that mainstream.
Right.
Because the mainstream right now is polluted. You better find the little outlets and the little tributaries that are outside of it that are filtered. I know I'm talking about rivers and but anyway, the mainstream is polluted with
Yes.
keeping up with the Joneses, or making the Joneses be
Or
exactly what they
even-
want them to be.
Yeah.
Because above that keeping up with the Joneses is marketing or sales or a spell being put on you, telling you should be this way.
Exactly.
It's like watching a truck commercial or any commercial of any kind that makes it seem so much better. And there are some that I do believe were, I've seen some really good commercials that were really not trying to manipulate.
You're creative.
There are corporations that do that, or minds that come up with those kind of things. But really, in this day and age, it's important that we know government and big business are the same. They are the same. They are ran by each other. They work each other. So let's talk about think about any big name.
Everything we.
If any kind of ads coming out about that, or weird ad especially, these companies are owned by bigger companies. And that's where we're at right now. And we don't even have to go into the esoteric part of it. I mean, we will, because that's what this show's about.
Well, I want to bring people way back to when celebrity finally started getting some sort of justice. Like, we always heard about, like, people dying because they were, like, obviously gangs, where they were, like, moving out their rapper lives. But we bring it simple, and we really started seeing in your everyday life that the celebrity is just like you. A little Miss Homemaker herself, and will go to prison for not paying her taxes.
Who's that? Oh yeah, you're talking about shit. Yeah, she's all in for it now.
She's
Though.
all
They
up
broke
in it.
her in, sending her to
Snoop.
prison.
Her and Snoop.
Martha Stewart.
Like, seriously. When you, like, really pay attention to the progression of things that were sold to us
A free
as
thought, a free art,
everyday,
of real art.
average, like, yeah, I'm connecting to you, the everyday person, and you follow it throughout its progression of things. You can see how it was probably not quite so organic, right? We have to understand that marketing is like huge in this realm in which we live in. And we're both being sold a problem.
Damn it.
We're being sold a solution. We're being sold a what's the word I'm looking for? Someone we're being sold on the fight back,
a
right?
problem, a reaction,
Here's
and a
people,
solution.
Look, we think like you. We're the nonconformists like you. Just think like us, though. So we're just anti that, right?
Right.
We'll sell you on your antis. But to be nonconformist means that you're looking at both of that and you're going, no, look, you can't sell me on this just because of this. Look, I've seen it all. I understand it. I'm experiencing it like this. And no, I'm not gonna, no, right? It's simply saying, no, I'm a free and sovereign human being. You're not gonna do it your way. And I'm not gonna do it your way either.
Right.
Sorry, guys. Like, I see my life this way, and anyone that wants to like do it my way too can do it their way. I'm not making you
Do whatever you
have
want
to
to
listen
do.
to me. You can get your teachings anywhere you want to,
You teach
but I'm not going to do it your way, and I'm not going to do it your way. And
Because
if those are my
would
only
do it your way
options,
if I
then
agreed
I
with it.
opt out.
But I'm not just going to do it your way because you said that's the way I'm supposed to do it scientifically.
Right.
Science says, and science does
And
say,
I fell for the science.
the science is always being.
That's when I finally.
You're always evolving in science. There is no,
Yes.
there is no concrete
the science.
answer to anything.
There's no the science.
Just our
I think that's
perception and
what
our
attracts
understanding
us.
to it. We're cutting each other off. Anyway, 7 people. Who were there?
There's compliments.
So nonconformity. I mean, what do you guys feel about nonconformity? How do you feel about the whole concept of not conforming to the regular norms that we grew up in, the programs that, yeah, they can be good, but they can also really, what happens, I feel like, in those programs is you can't have a solid, consistent life in the mainstream because it's always going to, I mean, look at actors, look at famous singers and songwriters that do make a lot of money, but then all of a sudden the floor drops out and they're not making shit. It's like a 3-year thing. You maybe get a good, if you're really good.
Right.
I mean, there are legends that keep going.
That's right.
And keep continuing to be relevant. But they're probably more authentic, or they've sold their soul.
Right. You got to think about those, like that little thing.
And if you're up there if you're in the mainstream, you have had to have done something to get there. Meaning, if you're that popular, like I'm talking about billions or hundreds of millions, you have had to do something, or somebody is helping you get there.
Right.
That has that connection.
I mean,
that means
I
you're
don't
either
wanna
being
take away
developed
from-
or groomed.
yes.
And that's how most really famous people are. They are groomed from birth. They're not just somebody that, back in the day, there was a time when people did get together and then they did, they were bands. They grew up in high school and started a band, and all of a sudden, but to get to those numbers, you have to have sold yourself somewhat to.
In a society
Yeah.
where sold to us is a free one, but it has been monetized on every level, that when you find yourself in a space, when you see someone coming into a space suddenly, even if they've been in that space for 30 years, right? They're suddenly everywhere. Everyone now gets it, right? You really got to think about why. Like, what strings are you playing? Did you come out at a certain time? You got to really think about.
And when I say this, I mean famous people. So who's famous? Think about who's being shown on TV and in the mainstream and in the internet world the most. Tell me, like the first person you think of. I want you to understand something, that there's kind of there's a backwards dichotomy happening here. That's kind of it is a scam.
It is a scam.
So I want everybody to let me know in comments, who is it that's the most popular that you see, that has been the most popular for a long time? And that, don't be afraid to say it.
Right.
I'm not
And
going to
that's
lead you
just
anymore,
it.
but really, like, who is it in the mainstream? I haven't seen anybody jumping out on that one either on comments. So anyway, what I'm saying is these heroes that are created, and they're created in a lab, like, and I don't mean that figuratively or literally, I mean it more figuratively, but it is kind of a lab. Like, musicians go into this place where they're totally trained to be this way. They're trained to follow a certain thing, which is the sales pitch of the operators that are making things happen for them, that are getting their music out there to make it go, like this new, Oliver.
Yes.
What's his
And
name?
I
Wait, hold on. What's his name? It's his band's name, because it was his grandpa, of course. I feel like they're trying to create a new James or a new Bob Dylan. Rich man from north of Richmond.
From Richmond.
That
And that's what
guy.
I was about to say. I very
What's his
recently
first? What's the band's name?
It's Oliver.
Something Oliver.
No, it's Oliver or something.
This is Oliver. Yeah, it is Oliver.
And his
Anyway.
name's actually Chris. Anyway,
Oliver Anthony.
yes. The point is, I thought I came across something new, and I'm
Who was
like, oh my
Cabal?
gosh,
No, I'm talking about
hey,
a person. I'm talking about just a
wow,
figurehead.
this is awesome. And then all of a
I'm
sudden,
talking about somebody that's
I
like
see
an
them
idol. The Cabal is being put out there, but what I'm saying is, what name do you see the most in the mainstream news? That's who they're trying to promote. Doesn't matter who it is, whether
Good or
they're on
bad.
this side or that side,
That's right.
good or bad. This is who they're
you
trying to
see
raise up. And if you notice, those people get raised up, even if they're being shitheads, right? They get promoted for that.
Right.
This is how the entertainment. Yes, I like that. Teresa said Trump. Yes, let's get away from all of these.
Both are
Okay, all of these rich kids. Remember how rich kids when you were when you were little? They're the same people.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't make any sense because they got everything given to them. And it doesn't matter. Biden, Trump, I don't give a shit. Like, it doesn't matter. Whatever name in government or whatever name that's like really out there, it doesn't matter. Right now you'll see rising stars, right? Those stars that get put out and have millions and millions of listens or views a day, they're not real either. I mean, they're real. They're talented. Some of them do actually play. Some of them don't. Some of them actually pretend, and they're just very good people. But the entertainment industry, and that means everything we watch on TV, even documentaries, even news, that is all entertainment. It's all entertainment, especially the news. But we have to fight against that shit.
Yes.
Like that. I keep thinking about that picture. Who cares if it was propaganda or whatever, whenever it was created? But I see all these people hiling Hitler, and I see one guy with his arms folded in the picture. He's like, no, that's what we all need to be more, because that's the only way we're going to get ourselves out of this mess, is by our thoughts and not following false idols, I guess I should say. Following, the sacred cows. That's all bullshit. It really is. Like, I give readings, I do. A lot of people out here listening or watching know I do, and I don't want to be part of that, where we all have to sit and worship something or somebody. Let's connect.
Yes.
Let's show appreciation and gratitude. Worshiping, though, is a very powerful thing.
It is.
And that's what gets us in trouble.
It gets very corrupt very quickly. Right, and that's not always by the person.
Yeah, Nikki King says I tend to just ignore any posts about famous people. What were you saying? Ignore the person.
Basically, what I'm saying is, it doesn't matter if it's the person that is doing the reading or the ceremony or whatever it is, or the person attending. If you try to get too big in one way, someone is bound
Somebody
to
has the
take
keys to
somewhere
that
and
castle.
become something
Like there
that
is a key. There is, okay, I'm going to explain it to you the way I've seen it just in my little menial career in music and in entertainment. There's a place that you can get to. Some people get to that quicker because they kiss ass and they say all the right things to all the right powerful people. But there is a key that you need to get through a certain doorway to be ultra famous, right? Or to have your music be heard, or your movies to be watched, or your name to be brought up that high.
Right.
You're being used, or they're being used as a sacred idol. Now, there's plenty of people that I've seen brought up and like, you know, that were popular. There are some that get through that. There are so talented that they know that they're that talented,
Right.
and they call the shots.
yes,
Which there's not very many, but there are
Most
some. Even the
some.
most talented are still under this like rule because they're afraid that they're not going to be as famous and not going to make as much money, not going to have their name remembered. That's what they're really thinking about. That seems pretty like over egotistical to me.
in a shower. But
Now I would love my kids could hopefully, if YouTube's still around and some of these other places, hopefully my grandkids, my great grandkids can hear my music and hear and watch, you know, some of the things. Hopefully they're not too little watching what
right,
we're doing right now, but leaving an archive, right? Leaving a body of work. There are people, there are bands, there are entertainers that leave a big body of work and they make it. But I have this hypothesis or theory, just from what I've seen in the music business, that there is a door that you only get let into if you're allowed. And sometimes you get screwed thinking you're getting let into
yeah.
by the same people that
You're
are
walking just
raising one.
outside that door.
Yeah, it's a factor. It's not.
I actually gave that title to Trump for a while.
But
Now, he wanted
I don't
be
mean to go
Paul
against Trump. Like I don't
Ryan,
think Trump should be arrested. Actually, I
No.
think that's all a bunch of bullshit,
I think it's
and I think it's to make him more popular because they have to have the powers that be that don't give a shit about right or left,
Which is
other
what I'm
than
saying.
or red or blue,
I gave
other than
him
to
the
control people
outsider title
and
because
separate them.
He was up there playing too. He was knocking on their door for so long. He wanted to come and play with the big boys, and he came in and played with the big boys, and he brought a lot of his own guys in. However, they were all like, "Here's how we should play it," and I saw that game play. You know what I mean? It's understanding that really it comes down to us doing.
Yeah, they signed their contract with their souls, and that's
Yeah.
the only. I saw a couple musicians, maybe a handful of bands, and I'm sure there are more that weren't being, you know, they weren't in the papers or the news. Papers, what is it, 1952? Anyway, but we need to realize that's not. We keep following this shit. We keep getting lulled back to sleep and excited about somebody that's running for president, and that includes all of them, like
All of them.
Robert F. Kennedy, all these people, even the outliers that seem like, oh, they're dark horses coming in. This is all like, I see it as like, remember those games when you go to a fun park or an amusement park
Who else
where you're squirting the horses or you're squirting the target to get your horse go faster? That's what they've got us in. They've got us in that. Bernie, he's just one piece to the puzzle.
Yep.
There's plenty of them.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't play for a long time, but they find those pieces that are missing and they put out their little person. I fell for the whole Bernie thing, and even Dr. What's her name?
It's all theater, Nikki says.
It's exactly. They put out who they're willing to put out. Those that are going to fold in the end. When that
Yeah, we
little
lost. Oh no, we didn't. Okay.
person come out there and said, "Here's the world we're living in," I said, "Oh, yep, okay. Here's the world we're living in." Nope, none. Right? I understood then that they were putting out this person to say all the right things because it's meant to be some loop. They just want to drag in more of us, right? But it's all a game. It's all theater. It's all.
And all those ones that didn't want to play anymore, notice that they ended up dying of suicide or drug overdoses, or that really, I do believe. I believe there are some drug overdoses that happen. They're not. There's no conspiracy to it other than they took too much. But they were in that entertainment realm, which is, it's always there. The more you make it, the more successful you are, the more you can entertain. There is that, but it's not even, that's a fraction of what is all fake and bullshit. Like the Doors, Jim Morrison's dad was like an admiral, a rear admiral, that actually was one of the people that lied to help us go to Vietnam War. And Jim Morrison's his son, and he just came out and got all this stuff. And this sucks for me to say because I love the Doors, I really do. But we have to understand that we can't fall for these false assholes.
You have to understand that
those are the demigods.
Those things they were putting out were things they were allowed to put out.
Mhm.
Those were thoughts, seeds planted for a purpose, right?
Right.
In order to later on down the road, like be able to pull at certain heartstrings and get us involved in things that it truly don't even matter.
I mean, if you look close enough, you'll see that all of them, Biden, Trump, Obama,
Right?
George Bush.
Look at the melding of it all.
I mean,
What's
they're all
really
like
changed?
they've had to change with us. But they've given us a false prophet to follow. And I'm not religious, but false prophet seems to be the best way to explain it. And we've done a lot. Me and Norma have done a lot of research. I'm telling you, like to a point that if you saw how much research we've done, just by watching others that have done deep research and doing our real own research and finding out a lot. We've done a lot, and it's all fake. It is a lot of it is really fake. Everything that we grew to admire and love, there are some real things in there, but most of it is fake. And I think we need to understand that before we can actually get started, like living a life that we know that we don't allow that to control us anymore, because it does. Politics does control us. Politics makes laws. Politics is what we are in. We're all socially connected and energetically and financially. It all works as a wheel. And somebody wants to take from the wheel a lot. We've been so brainwashed, we don't even realize we're
How
being
many
stolen
strokes
from,
they took out?
other than a little bit. And this is how the world works. We're not of the world. We're in the world, and we're dealing with challenges. Another Owen Benjamin quote. Yeah.
And those of you that like crude humor, I'm gonna call it that way.
Yeah, I
because
miss
people are sensitive. Owen Benjamin is funny. Just saying.
Probably don't know who he is, but if you go watch his live streams, they're on rockfin.com, Rumble. And I think like he has his own, created his own. But he does move the Overton window. He does move it in a place to where he helps wake people up.
Similar.
If you're gonna go there, be or expect to be offended,
That's right.
because that's what he does.
Yes.
He offends people
On
so they
purpose.
actually truly
He
see
wants you to
the other
understand.
side of thing. And he is one of the best nonconformists that I do see. And I don't agree with everything he says,
No.
but I do agree that
He's done a lot of things really
he
well.
speaks, a lot more than most of the.
He managed to
He's
take
been
his
in the famous. He's been in that industry.
Exactly. He managed to
He knows
do
how it
that
works.
and actually truly become his own thing, independent. And he gets few words in the mainstream. And when he does get them, they're not right. But they do their best not to even speechless thing.
Brainwashing goes back since the dawn of time. Even when our so-called caveman days, I guarantee you it was happening then. It's mentalism.
Taking control of it.
We were always connected to the mind, so we know how to, if we want to, if you follow, that's why you don't want to follow. If you follow a leader, you're going to be under their brainwashing or their spell, right? Trump, Biden, and I'm telling you, I think they're all full of shit. I really do. Like I'm not on one side or another, because that's probably the most dangerous place to be when it comes to
Picking
that.
some sort of side. Life is fluid. Like it's really fluid. It's not like sides. It's about taking a little bit from this because we.
Yeah, Deb Ock, she says, look at the schools indoctrinating students and kids. They've been doing that for a long time too. Before it was violence. Now they're starting to add weird sexual kinks
Sexuality.
and shit. You know? But before it was violence. When we were growing up, it was violence. It was we got to beat the
Watch out
Russians.
for
Watch out for the Russians. Watch out for the evil people.
Racism.
This is always how they control society because they can control them, split them, and then they can't all sit there and think together and talk together and go because they're too busy
I'm
arguing
too
about
afraid of you
dumb
because you
issues that
canceled
don't even
Russia
matter
now, and Russia's-
instead of the big picture.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're never able to get to that big picture to where we can actually, because consciousness and our voices are more powerful than any military. I guarantee you. Like when the consciousness and the real democracy or majority speaks, and we don't speak. That's why they're always selling us shit like
Yeah.
consent to this. You know, and when the real majority speaks, the natural majority, that's where we're getting to. That's where we're trying to get to. And it only takes about 20, 30%. I don't think it takes 15. You can make a lot of changes, 10% of the world, but I think we need like 25, 30% before we can actually turn things over and come up with better solutions to make the world work better, where we're not all worried about, because I know a lot of us are worried about things that are happening overseas for the people that are from where we're from or the people that are over there, like just human life, right? And there, that is part of life and death, predator and prey. That comes into play in all, and that's, I don't think we'll ever get away from that.
However,
But
it can be a
however,
whole lot more
predator
powerful
and
than
prey doesn't mean shit when you think about eternal life or life that exists for thousands, millions, billions, and so on of years. But yeah, twerking, I know. But what I'm saying is, like, they'll take one thing, and that's, again, what are you seeing in the mainstream? There's probably something there. Remember, a lot of us used to watch Scooby-Doo. It's a red herring. Like, a lot of those little things are red herrings. They're not real, or they're not happening at such a great scale. Now, we can go back and we can talk about, I mean, that's a whole other show. The Rockefeller medicine, Rockefeller schooling. That's what's going on. It's more to just subvert us, whether it's sex or violence. It's getting us to accept that life that they want us to think so they can get away with what they're doing. And there's a they. You want to know what they means? The hierarchy that is controlling us.
Yeah.
The hierarchy enslaving you.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
hierarchy and slavery.
Now, I use a lot of quotes. That's from Ryan Christian from The Last American Vagabond.
Yeah.
Another one that's really good. Watch him, check him out. But yeah, that's what we're talking about. Being a nonconformist is actually being a good thing at this point, even if it's scary as it is. Like, you see a bully picking on somebody or beating them up, you jump in, you help them out. You help out that one being bullied. You see something's wrong, it can hurt a lot of people, you say something. Speak up. No, this is not right. Like,
You see science.
and that's the
being
problem, is the
manipulated.
biggest lies are coming from the people that we should be having faith or trust in.
Right.
That's where it's coming from.
And they have totally gone against everything we ever learned in grade school biology and a science class in the last 3 years. And yet, we're all just to believe the science. What science? What the fuck are you talking about? Right? Like, if we were paying attention, even in grade school, we know that science is quite fluid. There are certain things that happen in rotation. There are certain things that are constant. But in science, nothing just is. It has its layers in it, in which creates the science. It is constantly fluid.
Okay, so I just shared the link, so anybody that wants to jump in and join us, add something to it. I just added the link. So if you want to come in, speak your own mind. You don't have to put the camera on, but if you want to leave it on, we're doing the camera tonight. So those who are watching it live on Facebook and YouTube, you get to see us on camera. But those who are watching it or listening to it on the podcast, a little bit different. Maybe I can get a video on that. Yeah, they film instead of helping. But get it, like, understand the big picture. Pay attention to the big picture.
Sometimes
What are you conforming against? That means being lied to by the people you should trust every day. That's it. You're conforming about that. Whatever they're using, that's what we're trying to get rid of. Is we need to stop being programmed in a way that it's good to be programmed in good ways.
Like if you understand
If
it's
it's,
always
but
happening,
it never
and
happens
you're
from
doing
shame
it, and you just-
or mocking or gaslighting. It doesn't happen from any of those things. That's not how true change happens. True change happens from good leaders leading and leading by example and inspiring. And that's why I've mentioned other names. Those people are leaders. So anyway, we've left that out. We're probably going to sign off here in a minute because we've been on almost an hour.
Non-conformist simply means going by your own gut instinct.
Good, Deb. You should have. You know what? That's awesome. Thank you. Deb's a badass. She lost her job because she didn't take the job.
You got to be
It
willing
means
to do
you're
that.
awake. You're
You really
aware.
have
Now,
to
don't let
go
anybody
low.
else co-opt your thoughts.
Yeah. I
Follow
can't-
your
I
brothers
can't-
and sisters. Stand shoulder to shoulder, and don't let anybody tell you that, oh, I'm here to help you all become shoulder to shoulder.
Having enough
I'm
faith
going to
in
do that
yourself
for you. No,
and your skills.
that's bullshit.
To
That's
go,
somebody
you know
trying
what,
to
I
jump
can
up and
figure it
try to take all the credit. Credit comes from the collective. It doesn't come from the, and the collective is strong because of their individualism. And they feel the connectedness with each other, but also know I'm an individual. And you're an individual when you die, too.
Yeah.
You are all connected.
That, this
We are all
is spark
connected.
of energy.
But you still have individual thought.
Reverberation of energy that plays out through many lifetimes.
Yeah, that sucks. You notice there's a lot of heart problems going on, too, right now, Deb, right? Too many. A lot. And people getting cancer really quickly.
Really questionable.
I'm not saying that's connected, but, you know,
So, anomaly-
those have always been problems, but we haven't even heard all of what really is happening. Like I don't know anybody that died of COVID. I know the people who went to the hospital and died of
COVID
other
treatment.
shit. Yep. Yeah, you've worked, and that's the whole problem. You got to weigh that. Is it worth your life or your career? Like, what do you want? And that's really where you're at. That's being a nonconformist when it's important. That means risking things. And I'm not saying for you need to risk them. You make your own decisions. I'm just speaking my mind and what I see, what I've been seeing going on. It's just,
Corporations can pay you big money, but those skills you have bring you more if you simply do it yourself.
if you're on
we
track,
can-
and that
if we
sucks. That
just, you
sucks.
know,
And that's what they're making you do. Like, you understand these are experimental, right?
it is.
All of these.
It sucks.
It means they're using you as a lab rat. You're basically a lab rat. And like I said, you make your own decisions. This is my opinion. Take everything I say with a grain of salt. But there's a reason that I'm talking about it. It's not because I want popularity. I want popularity to let everybody know, hey, don't just fall for this bullshit because we are in Nazi Germany, but way worse because it's world now. Way worse than anything Hitler could have done. Or it's being done to us right now.
The
I know
things
a lot
that are
of
happening are too. I mean, you can chalk things up to coincidences only so many times, right? We can only go, well, that was strange, so many times before we go, no, you know what? It's not really strange. This has to be.
And that's the whole thing. Even with your career, if you're faced with that and it feels off and you know it's off, you probably shouldn't do it because you can do a lot of different things. And during your life, you're going to have to make adjustments and adapt and make the best way forward for yourself. That's no school's going to give that to you. That's you critically thinking and moving forward in your life and planning properly. You choose to take it if you want to. There's nothing wrong. I mean, I don't agree with it, but if that's what you want to do, that's up to you. That's really all we're really saying too. Is it shouldn't be a mandatory thing at all ever. That's right. They don't have a right to ask. Whether they make laws for it or not, they still don't have a right to ask.
Well, they don't make laws, they make mandates or stipulations, and those are not laws.
I mean, trust me, I've done plenty of things in my life, but that was one that scared the shit out of me. It's like, why are they making me take this? That sounds really sinister, and are they putting poison in it? And yeah, they probably are. For some. Or some people are just so scared that they scare themselves into sickness and death. You can actually do that. The placebo effect is very strong. That's good that she didn't take the stir. All right. Anyway, we should probably wrap it up. But don't conform to everything. Go with the flow in the natural flow, not what other people are telling you should go in. What feels natural for you? If it feels off, stop and think about it before you do it. Yeah. Anyway, much love, everybody. This is the BTS podcast signing out. Have a great night.
Much love you.